Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a very, very, very special guest. Landyn Vidourek, one of the most talented outfielders in all the minor leagues, joins Dodgers Daily. Hey, Landyn, it's great to get to talk to you. I've seen you play way too much at Cincinnati there, wear out my Cowboys. But, hey, welcome in, man.
Awesome. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay, first of all, I got a bone to pick with you. Before we get into the really cool deal about Sandy Koufax, dude, you went 6 for 10 last spring against OSU. That was not fun watching that.
No apologies there. No apologies. We owed it to them after what they did to us in, what was that, 2024?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they swept us pretty bad, so.
Bishel ball there at Cincinnati. I got to ask you, I keep hearing Bishel ball. Of course, do you know GLP, Griffin Lockwood Powell, the catcher for Tulsa?
I don't, but I'm not sure if you know who Jacob Marcy is. He's with the Marlins right now. He was just here a week ago, and I was talking to him about him. But, I mean, hoping to obviously get to meet him in spring training just because there's a little bit of mutual stuff there. But, I'll be excited to meet him, put a face to a name finally.
Yeah. So GLP actually played for Jordan Bishel, your head coach there at Cincinnati, when Coach Bishel was at Central Michigan. And that's where the phrase Bishel ball came about. So, hey, what is Bishel ball, man?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to put into. Basically, it's like playing at Cincy, you're not, we're not getting the top recruits in the country like they do down south more, where it's obviously warmer because playing in the cold's not the funnest thing to do. So basically, just sum it up quick, is kind of like a style of like gritty baseball, I guess. Playing up here, especially earlier in the year, our team last year could somewhat hit homers, but those balls don't start getting out of here until it gets warmer. So Bishop ball is more of especially earlier in the year, getting the bunts down, not trying to do too much with the baseball, take your singles, take your walks, and then obviously the stolen bases play a big factor. We would work on those stolen bases and short vaults and long vaults 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just the stuff that kind of gets swept under the rug, I guess, for other teams that, us as a smaller school in the Big 12 trying to kind of make a difference in the game.
You led the Big 12 in stolen bases. You missed your last 7 games, but you still led the Big 12. I think it was 30 some odd stolen
39?
bases? 39,
39.
Yeah. That was the most by 11. So the next closest guy in stolen bases was at 28. Yeah, that's even though you missed your last 7 games. So you obviously subscribed to that Bishel ball, right? So kind of talk about your tools.
Well, I was thankful enough, got faster going into last year, junior year, and the year before that I was doing a lot of short vault stuff. Obviously that all goes off of timing, and pitchers eventually learn how to screw up your timing a little bit. So eventually just started getting green lights, 14-foot lead, just green lights, because I was getting to second obviously before. We would always do times, so my time to second would be better than the pitcher's time to home plus the catcher's pop time. So kind of just went off that on when to go and all that, and ended up being a huge tool, and and swiping a lot of bases last year.
14-foot lead. For those of you who don't know, those cutout, the reason why the cutouts, whether they're rounded or squared or however, that grass cutout's supposed to be 13 feet, and that's supposed to tell a runner, hey, this is what the extent of your lead should be. So you had your foot about a foot inside the grass there. That's a huge lead.
Yeah. It was kind of just, thankfully, I didn't really get picked off that much. I think I did once, and it actually went against the stealing. So I was 39 for 40. I got picked off and got in a pickle, which is why it said I got thrown out. But that's all right. But kind of just banking on myself being able to get back.
Oh, so even if you get picked off going back to first base, that counts against your stolen bases?
If you get in a rundown, you do. If you start towards second, then yeah.
So cool that you were lineage to the Cincinnati baseball family, and I'm bringing that all in to say your great-grandpa played with who at Cincinnati?
He played with Sandy Koufax the fall before he got drafted to the Dodgers. And he's still kicking it, still doing good now. He turns 90 here in about a week. But, he says he always says that. So my grandpa played, so he said back then it was you'd play catcher one game, shortstop the next, there wasn't really any like positions, I guess, at least here.
Yeah.
He said nobody ever wanted to catch Sandy Koufax because he was so wild back then. And my grandpa, because he was a freshman at the time, was the one who had to get suckered into it. So he was like basically Sandy Koufax's personal dummy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he says, it's a cool memory now, but he said it wasn't that fun of a time back then.
Oh wow! So have you ever got to meet Sandy Koufax?
I have not.
No,
I have not.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a cool experience once you get to. So let's back up to your time in Hamilton, Ohio. So the quarterback on your high school team there. So I got to know all about your game. Are we a pro style quarterback? Are we a drop back guy? Are we a read option? Are we an air raid? What type of quarterback are we here?
100% read option.
Oh, nice.
100% read option. Yeah.
So talk about your days on the gridiron, your days back at Baden, and all of those types of environments and experiences you had, and how that's helped you moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it was, playing football in high school was a lot of fun. I would highly suggest it. But I mean, it was cool. We had a super tight knit group of guys that was there my senior year, and we were all super close and kind of like all played for each other in a sense. Ended up getting hurt in the state semifinal. Broke my hand, so I had to miss the state finals. We ended up going on to lose by a touchdown in the state finals. But no, I mean, it was awesome, top to bottom, from freshman year to senior year. It was awesome.
So obviously, having a great grandpa that played with Sandy Koufax at Cincinnati, you probably grew up a Bearcat fan. So take us through all the reasons why you went there and your time there. Yeah,
I mean, I came on a visit here always, like you mentioned, always kind of been a Bearcat fan, and the whole family is. And, just great grandpa's still around and stuff, and he splits time between here and Florida. So, I mean, just having him be able to come to the games, all that stuff still, obviously he played here. So it's kind of a cool, like, full circle moment, especially for him, and just the whole family, just being able to stay somewhat close to home and be able to, come out to the games and all that kind of stuff.
So your great grandpa played at Cincinnati, so he knows the weather, how the weather can be in February and March. Yeah. He's living in Florida, so he's probably like, "Hey, love you, dude. See you in May."
Yep, exactly how it is.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So you're drafted in the third round, and out of Cincinnati, the only other guy I believe that was drafted that early, or at least in this time period in the last, I'd say, I don't know how long it is Ian Happ. So talk about getting drafted so high and what that means for the Cincinnati program.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like a compliment to. I feel like the program's going in the right direction. I mean, there's a few guys this year that are gonna hear next year that are gonna hear their name called in the draft. And it kind of just like a stepping stone, I guess. Just being able to kind of be the first one in this generation, I guess, to kind of have your name called and on the first day is nice. And it's kind of just like an intro, and hopefully there's gonna be two of them next year that hear their name called on the first day. So
absolutely. Okay, so take us through draft day, what it was like for you, what you were doing, and just what you remember from whenever you either saw or heard your name called.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit different for me. I knew I was gonna go 3 to 5, somewhere in that range. The third round was kind of like a 25% chance, and obviously third round's at 11 o'clock at night. So didn't have a huge party. I had something lined up for the next day. I had a bunch of people coming over. So I mean, it was just me and immediate family kind of just sitting there, and the Dodgers were super quiet about it. I had no clue. Finally, agent called and said I was going pick 104, and some people would think you kind of stand up, maybe get super excited once you hear that. I was kind of just like, it was kind of like surreal moment. But no, it was definitely awesome.
I know your coaches in the past, Coach Bishel, your high school coaches, have said, hey, this is a really toolsy guy. I mean, he has every tool. Obviously, the speed with all the stolen bases, the arm being the quarterback, the IQ, the intelligence, the bloodlines with your great grandpa. So what took you from hey, this is a guy with all the tools, to a guy that, hey, I actually know how to apply those tools to game situations? on the field? How did that happen? Take us through that process.
Yeah, so I mean, it's no secret freshman sophomore year here at Cincy weren't very good. Subpar for what I expected, obviously, to happen. And then junior year, finally, like, had a conversation with our hitting coach here and kind of like sat down and talked through it and worked out like part of like the mental game and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's what the mental side is what kind of led me to doing what I did last year.
Yeah, you got sent to Rancho, I think, maybe about 3 weeks after you got drafted. Pretty quick turnaround. Talk about that. Were you surprised about how quick you got sent out to Rancho? Talk about that process.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea. For all I knew, we were going to stay in the complex for the rest of the year. But no, I was super thankful to get out there. And, you know, I didn't play. It was like 16 games or something like that. But it was like just to be able to get out there for those 3.5 weeks that I was there and get the experience under your belt and kind of know what to expect going into next year was definitely a huge help.
Being from Hamilton, Ohio, had you ever been to Arizona or California?
I had not.
Wow.
Actually, I mean, I guess Arizona when we would play like University of Arizona, I went out there. Other than that, no.
Yeah. So playing in the cold of Ohio or the heat of Arizona, which one's better?
Heat.
Absolutely.
All day.
Absolutely.
The ball goes way farther.
Yeah. And we won't tell anybody in the Dodgers organization, but what was the first thing you ordered in and out when you got to California?
See, I'm a huge In-N-Out guy.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
So I get 2 double doubles.
Okay.
You know, just spreading cheese. I'm not a huge fan of like lettuce and tomato and stuff.
Good stuff.
So just 2 double doubles and then animal style fries, which is just like the sauce and cheese on top of fries.
Yeah.
And that was my order.
Yeah. So we started the pro career 0 for 11. That had to be like a gigantic. I'd see you smiling there. I smile too because we've all done it, and everybody's going to go for 11. It's really crappy timing when it's your first 11 bats at bats of your affiliated career. Take us through that stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't super upset about it. I mean, I was hitting the ball well. Like when I hit the ball, it was hit pretty hard, so I wasn't sweating it too much, just because I mean the contact and like the exit velos and stuff were like where I wanted them to be at, and then eventually kind of just all broke open, I guess, you know, kind of stayed the course and it all broke open. You
got that first hit, and then you got 3 hits in that first game. You got 2 hits in the game after that, and then you went on a 10-game hitting streak, and in that 10 games you hit over 500. So talk about once you got that first hit and that dam broke, you were able to relax and just play baseball.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, kind of was sweating getting the first one out of the way, but then once that happened, it was kind of just like, all right, like now we're just playing baseball.
Yeah. Take us through that first hit and what you remember whenever you hit the bag at first base knowing you were safe for the first time.
Yeah, it was especially just being like a clean hit up the middle. It wasn't like, I'm just glad my first hit, nothing against it, wasn't like a rollover, like a catch out through the 4 hole or something like that. But no, it was super awesome. I mean, I knew it was going to come eventually. It was just obviously a matter of when.
Yeah. Okay, so let me go back to your stolen bases. You said 14-foot lead, which if that's a standard for you, that's an incredibly large lead. So you have to have triggers in terms of what you're looking for in pitchers, whether they're picking or going to home plate. What are those triggers for you?
I mean, it all kind of just depends on like film, kind of like seeing their pickoff move. I mean, we just always said at Cincy, I mean, if it's below a 1.05 over to first, that's a pretty good move. That's kind of like maybe I'll go to like a 13-foot lead, kind of just all depending on like the situation. Like obviously curveball counts, looking to get more aggressive. You know, I was lead off at Cincy, so having Carrington up to hit after me, who was Big 12 Player of the Year, was a huge help just because, I mean, they're not going to give him a fastball in the middle of the plate. So like it's kind of like you either try and hold me or you try and pitch around him, and they would try and pitch around him. So that just left a bunch of opportunities to take a couple bags.
I don't know if OSU got Carrington out ever in his entire career, man. That dude could absolutely stroke, couldn't he?
the Friday guy, your guy's Friday guy, the little
Yeah.
lefty sidearm guy, he had
Bodendorf.
he had his number. He struck him out twice.
Yeah. Bodie's playing pro ball now. He had basically everybody's number there, especially towards the end of the year. He was, especially during that part of the year, he was really rocking and rolling. So, hey, this is part of, the aggressive. I don't like to use the term small ball because there's just too many people that vilify that and think that's a negative term, that kind of deal. So I just call it aggressive, the aggressive style of baseball. So, you have the Big 12 Player of the Year. Carrington speaks for himself. He's a great hitter. He's in pro ball right now. I think he still ended it in low A like you did last season. So he speaks for himself. But I say that to say, whenever you have a guy like you at first base that's stealing all these bases, that has to take some attention away from the pitchers, right? That makes your hitters better. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. That's also kind of like what ties into it is like, if you put pressure on the pitcher, like especially at second base, we would do a bunch of like these fake vaults, I guess. And we would just do a bunch of those, kind of make the pitcher think about you and think less about executing the pitch. And, sometimes that would they'd leave a slider over the plate or leave a fastball, leak a little arm side, and it'd be in a spot where, the hitter our hitters would be able to get a good barrel on it.
Yeah. Anytime you hit the way you do, obviously you're hitting every different pitch and all different counts and different rhythms and that kind of deal. So are you the type of hitter that likes to maybe try to ambush early and hunt for pitches early in the count and then adjust later? What is your approach at the plate?
That's something that I've been working on because, strikeouts, in college and in low A this season were kind of a problem, like to cut those at least in half is a goal of mine for obviously next year, but it's definitely, I think I don't know, it kind of depends. Like runners in scoring position obviously looking to be more aggressive early, but like leading off the game or nobody's on base, kind of being a little bit more patient, trying to get the base runner on, knowing that I can most likely take second base and then give us an opportunity to get a run on the board.
So you had 14 home runs too last year, and that was 11th in the Big 12. And again, you missed your last 7 games, so you could have, you could have raised even from those ranks. So you have both the power and the speed. Which way have you developed your game?
I don't know. I try to develop it all, I guess. Obviously, like the home runs and stuff, they're fun to hit. But also just being able to, I guess, be like multi-dimensional and be able to do the long ball, but also do like the little stuff, like I said, that gets swept under the rug that, people don't really realize in the box score, but that kind of help your team win.
There's an old saying that maybe has gone away with the generation of the launch angle type, the angles coming off the bat and trying to get the ball in the air, at least get the ball. Let's not say get the ball in the air, but get the ball off the ground, that kind of deal, right? So is a home run a mistake to a guy like you? And what does a 2-strike approach mean for you?
For me, I would say a home run is definitely more of a mistake for me, just because I'm not your true like stereotypical like power hitter where I'm going to go up there and just try and hit home runs every time. But just try and put like a good backspin swing on the ball, and obviously sometimes you're going to catch it more out front or catch it at the right point and backspin it out. You really don't hit top spin home runs. So, top spin doesn't help you much. But yeah, it's, and then 2-strike. More of, like I said, like approach wise, kind of working on that. It's more of shifting focus back instead of trying to just like make perfect contact, hit a ball 115, whatever it may be. Just trying to put a ball in play so that way I can, even like a ground ball in the 6 hole, use my legs and try and beat it out.
What's the highest X's below you've ever had off the bat?
Metal or wood?
Metal.
116.
Oh, wow. That's like Nolan Schubert type stuff there. That's big time right there.
Yeah.
Wow. And that building right behind right field for your ballpark there in Cincy, what is that building?
That's the basketball arena.
You ever hit the top of that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I'll bet that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. So like you have your rounds of BP where I'm sure Coach Bishel's like, okay, let's pepper it the other way. Let's go up the middle. And then you have your work, you put your work in, and like the last round, he says, okay, just let it eat, right? Everybody's trying to hit the top of that building, I'll bet.
Yep. Exactly.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Okay, so you only got 16 games there at Rancho, but what did you take away from that in terms of what do you feel like you're doing well enough to be a consistent professional as you work your way up, and what things do you think you needed to take into the offseason to work on the most?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to Pilly, our hitting coach in the complex, a lot. Just like I already mentioned, like approach.
Talking about Brett Pill?
Yeah. Trying to get the swing a little bit flatter. You know, cover more of the top of the zone. Because I mean, that's where I struggled statistically. But I mean, just the takeaway is just like I said, I was glad to get the experience. So that way, going into next spring training or even the season next year, kind of know what to expect. And I mean, it's a grind. It's over 2 times as long as a college season, which is kind of crazy to think. But I mean, it'll be fun once it all gets started.
Fantastic. That's all the business I got for you. You ready to answer a couple of fun questions here?
Let's do it.
Okay, so first of all, I got to ask you, you're a read option quarterback, so running the ball in for a touchdown, throwing a touchdown pass, or hitting a home run, which one's better?
Hitting a homer. Oh. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I've had enough touchdowns back in high school in my day, so it's kind of, I mean, I don't want to say they get old. I mean, they never get old, but I mean, still definitely just, especially like when you get like that perfect kind of swing, and it's, definitely that.
Okay, let me add one then. Coming down the ramp for a big football game on Friday Night Lights against a rival. How does that rate? Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. I'd still say hitting a homer is better, though.
Okay. We're staying with the long ball. Chicks dig the long balls, right?
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, your uncle Patrick Foster has been huge in your life. Talk about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the guy that, I mean, I feel like everybody has him in their life. They kind of need him. Like there could be games, go 3 for 4, have I'd say a good day at the plate. And he's the guy. It's like, all right, like what happened the bat that you got out, stuff like that. Like not letting you just dwell on the fact that you just went 3 for 4 with a bomb or whatever, but the at bat where you just got dominated and struck out. It's more of, he's just, always in my corner talking about that kind of stuff, and, kind of just like puts my mind to that instead of letting your head get big when you go for like a 8 for 10 streak on a weekend.
Yeah. I did not put this in the question log. I did it on purpose because I want to see what your response is going to be. What's the cold, being from Hamilton, Ohio, you went to Cincinnati. What is the coldest you've ever been on a baseball field?
My freshman year, actually, so we didn't have the football indoor wasn't done yet.
Yeah,
we couldn't get into the bubble. So we actually had to shovel snow off the field. Just to be able to have like an inner squad.
Oh my God.
And that was like, I mean, we were wearing thermals, hoodies, jerseys, ski mask, everything that you could imagine. But that was miserable. I think there was probably 1 hit and 8 innings. It was near impossible to swing at that.
Strictly had that inner squad just to say you did it, not actually to get better, right?
Yeah. That was what we took away from it.
Yeah. Hey, we're getting tougher today. We're getting all this in. Okay. Yeah, sounds great. Okay, one last question here, and I ask everybody who's ever played for Shoe, most professional person you'll ever meet in your life. 100%. Have you ever seen Shoe out of uniform?
Never. I mean, even at the complex, he's in pants, belt, everything, hat. Shoe loves the game. I mean, it's all, especially playing for a guy like that. Your first little stint in minor league ball is awesome.
Yeah. So going from your great grandpa who played for Cincinnati, played with Sandy Koufax, going to your uncle, Patrick Foster, going to Coach Bishel there with Bishel ball at Cincinnati, and now to Shoemaker and Brett Pill and all these wonderful coaches in the Dodgers system. You've been pretty blessed, right?
Yeah, super blessed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, man. So let's finish this thing up by talking about, we just mentioned all the people, those people there, but all the people that have helped you along the way to get to where you have been, to be as successful as you are. There has to be a lot of people. So this is your time to thank them.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, they all know who they are, all the sacrifices and stuff, summer ball games where you're going all over God's green earth, trying to go to all these top level tournaments and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was obviously blessed and had the opportunity to do all that. So, I mean, they all know who they are and they know how thankful I am. I, try to let them know on a regular basis, just like how thankful I am that they were able to do that.
You ever have one of those tournaments where you played at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and then also played like at 9 o'clock at night on Sunday? You ever have one of those?
Especially like in Atlanta, all that. Those tournaments were not the best designed, but I mean they got the job done. They got you scouted, so that's all that matters.
I was always a dad that was like, you know what? I don't really want to lose, but if we lost that 9:30 game on Sunday, it would not break my heart.
No, yeah, wouldn't be too upset about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Landyn Vidourek, hopefully this isn't the last time we talk. Again, wonderful start to your career. Great career there at Cincinnati. Been following you for a long time, so this is a great honor for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.